o'clock. For now, reporting live from downtown LA, Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you so much. And we have breaking news into our newsroom right now. We are following a pursuit. We're just finding out about this. It started around 12:45. We are on the 5 freeway here. This is a grand theft auto incident, is all we know. Super slow speed, though, right here.
Yeah, let's go up to Mark Kono in Sky 5. Mark, I assume he's following this truck right here.
That's right, Glenn and Lou, good afternoon. This is actually going to be the 134 freeway eastbound coming through Glendale as we approach the 2 freeway. This initiated out of the Pacoima-Arleta area, a pursuit of this budget rent-a-car truck. It's actually a stolen vehicle. Apparently foothill units of the LAPD picked up on this, and the pursuit was on. The guy jumped on the freeway southbound side of the 5 and came through Sunland, came through Burbank, came through Glendale, and now he is eastbound on the 134 freeway. We're talking about speeds of about 30 to 40 miles an hour, not maneuvering too fast at this point. That is certainly some good news in terms of danger to the commuting public and whatnot here. But again, eastbound side of the 134 freeway as we approach the 2 freeway. This guy traveling at a fairly low rate of speed. Having said that, we are talking about maybe half a dozen units of the LAPD who are following this guy. They're not getting too close for whatever reason, but again, a stolen budget rent-a-car truck, that bobtail that you see there. Apparently a stolen truck, and from what we could tell when we were at the rear of the truck, it looked like there were maybe some like a washing machine dryer type appliance out of the back. Now the door is open at this point, so we don't know at what point this particular box truck was stolen, but this guy's just kind of traveling along. 30 miles an hour is the stated speed at this point, eastbound side of the 134. He's just past the 2 freeway. Again, foothill division units of the LAPD are in pursuit. Having said that, just traveling at a very, very low rate of speed. I can tell you that up ahead of this guy, merging traffic from the southbound side of the 2 freeway, I should say northbound side of the 2 freeway, is what he's going to be coming up to. You see all those cars on the right just kind of passing him up here. That is the transition road, northbound to the eastbound side of the 134. So now coming through Eagle Rock, so leaving Glendale and then towards Eagle Rock. The next exit is going to be Figueroa as we make our way through Eagle Rock and in towards Pasadena. Guys?
You know, Mark, it's interesting, and Glenn, it's interesting because a lot of times we see these pursuits, the cars, they're small.
Yeah.
This guy is not going to be able to maneuver in and out of massive traffic, you know. He's going to have to go slower here, probably figure out a little bit an easier way to maneuver. And what surprises me, too, is that these cars are just passing him. I would stay as far away as I could if I knew it was a pursuit.
If they're just merging onto the freeway, they're not going to know that because, as you know, the black and white units are far back. Actually, one reason he's driving slow, you can't drive these very fast.
Yeah.
Most of these rental trucks have governors on them. So, you know, you're going to top out at maybe 55, 60 miles an hour. That's about all you can do in one of these, and that's why a lot of these cars not even know what's going on or just passing them. What's interesting is the back is open. Again, this started in Sunland, we believe at Sheldon in San Fernando. If there's a washing machine in the back, as Mark Kono told us, probably somebody may have been in the process of moving some furniture into a new house or a different apartment or something, and they probably were taking stuff in the house, and this guy hops in a truck and took off with it.
Yeah, it's still unclear if this happened at a residential area or actually at the budget rental spot. But if you're just joining us, we are following a pursuit, a slow pursuit compared to what we usually see here. This happened about 12:45, and currently this truck is traveling eastbound on the 134. It's been through Burbank and Glendale and just past the 2 a few minutes ago. The black and whites are behind this truck and surprisingly a little farther back than usual, but I mean, it's not like they're having to chase him, and we're going to be able to keep an eye on him because he is going so slow. And that was a great point that you made, Glenn, about the speed parameters. It is going to. Now it does look like he's speeding up here.
Well, like I said, if he was going, he said about 35. He's not going to be able to go any more than probably 60, 65 miles per hour, but probably under 60. And if he has passed the 2, then he is heading into the Pasadena area at this point. And when he does that, he'll have an option. He can either stay on the actually the 134 is going to end. He could take the 210, continue east into the Inland Empire, or he can head north on the 210. So,
and if he hits any traffic on residential streets, he's going to have to stop because you can't maneuver these trucks as easily as you could a vehicle. And we're being told that it's one driver. It's still unclear if there's another passenger in the truck with him. We were told when our producers told us that we were headed to a pursuit that was grand theft auto of this truck. So it has been stolen. and a little dangerous too for cars to be behind it, especially if he starts to drive erratically with that washing machine and dryer in the back, because that could come flying out as well.
Yeah, that's because the back end of the thing is open, and again, probably somebody moving, as we said, and maybe went inside a building, and this guy hopped in and took off. Again, he's on the 134 East. He's probably, I'd say at this point, it's safe to say that he's probably in Pasadena at this point, probably around the Rose Bowl.
Is Mark Kono still, yeah. So Mark, what do you see ahead of this truck? What's happening? Kind of lay it out for us.
Okay, well, I tell you what, Lou and Glenn, good afternoon again. Yeah, in terms of traffic up ahead, very little to contend with at this point. And Glenn, you made a good point here. We're coming up on Pasadena here, the kind of the western part of Pasadena, where the Annandale Country Club, the Rose Bowl, coming up on Fair Oaks here. So he'll be coming up on the interchange of that eastbound side of the 134 where it meets the 210 freeway. Slow moving, although having said that, he has picked up speed a little bit. Maybe we're talking about something in the neighborhood of about 40 to 50 miles an hour now. I can look back at about a maybe quarter mile to a half mile. We understand the LAPD is going to hand this off to the California Highway Patrol. This is their jurisdiction. They are going to be taking over the pursuit at some point here. Now, we are just crossing under the transitions here from the 134 and the 210 freeway, traveling eastbound now into Pasadena. Now, I can tell you that, you know, in terms of cars that were passing him, you made that point about the cars that were passing him. It's definitely a likely situation that the cars did not even know that this guy was being pursued. The LAPD officers who were pursuing this guy were kind of laying off a good quarter to a half mile. They are tracking this. They have 2 LAPD airships above and a CHP helicopter who will be coming into the mix here shortly. And so they do know where this guy is. And so for that reason, it appears that they are kind of laying back. And the CHP guys, and I can see the first CHP cruiser is coming up within an eighth of a mile behind him. And he is going to be kind of following this guy until he gets a little bit more support from his other CHP guys. Now, just coming up on well, let's see here. Coming up on Old Town Pasadena here, Lake Avenue and a couple of exits. Eastbound side of the 134, I'm sorry, the 210 freeway at this point. Traveling at a fairly moderate rate of speed, not too fast, not too slow in the number 2 lane there. And like I said, looking ahead, coming through Pasadena, in terms of traffic, he is not going to have too much to contend with. So, you know, in terms of him, you know, kind of wanting to continue the pursuit, he's going to have kind of free reign over this particular stretch of the 210 freeway as he continues here now. At this point, again, just 1 unit of the CHP behind him. About a quarter to a half mile behind them are the LAPD guys. The CHP guys will be coming up here shortly over the course of the next couple of minutes. Now, as we pull out to just a slightly wider shot, we want to show you the conditions on the freeway here. Very lightly traveled at this point, very lightly traveled, and so for that reason, this guy is going to have, you know, plenty of access to whatever he needs to do or wants to do here to continue the pursuit. Having, you know, shown you the front of the vehicle, we're showing you the rear of the vehicle at this point because you can kind of see that white to whatever it is, a washer dryer appliance type thing that was that is still in the vehicle here. Something like this, a larger box truck is not going to be able to travel too fast. It's not going to have the same maneuverability as we've seen some of the other vehicles in these types of pursuits here. And so for that reason, he is probably traveling, well, not near his maximum, but certainly at a moderate rate of speed at this point. We haven't seen anything in the way of evasive maneuvers or anything like that. He's just kind of cruising along in the number 3 lane there, so not doing much in terms of violating any of the laws of the road there. But there's that CHP cruiser, the first one, the only one at this point, who is immediately behind him, and he is just now pulling up into a position where he can
same spot that appears to be a dryer, and again, we haven't seen it shift of anything. And then look, you can see the little dolly there on the left side of the box truck there. So right now, so far, so good. We don't see anything moving around inside. But from my vantage point, from what I see right now, it does not appear that that's dryer is secured. It doesn't appear to be tied up. I don't see any straps on it or anything, so perhaps it's just sitting there right now.
Yeah, no.
Next major exit, but because of the slow speeds, we haven't crossed over it yet. So Archibald exit should be coming up along the 210 freeway, and I would say we're probably about less than 2 miles out. And now we're starting to see some rain. There's some spectators up there. Milliken and Haven are some of your next exits there. So let me just bring up a little bit of light here because we're actually starting to get into some weather, so that's going to change things now. We are starting to see some of the slick roadway down below, so even more reason why it's good that this pursuit is at slower speeds, because now it's starting to rain here in the Rancho Cucamonga area off the 210.
Yeah, slower speeds, and nothing has changed the course for this driver here, and you see a number of CHP officers there
Right here, slowing down.
on the side of the freeway. And again, take a look.
There it is. There it is, Michael.
Spike
There's your
strip.
spike strip. We always told you that we normally don't see that being conducted on the freeway, but they...
On the on-ramp, and so let's see what we have here. We understood that there might be some sort of a spike strip situation waiting for him up ahead.
There
And
it is.
look at that.
Yep, there it
There's
is.
the spike strip being
knew
pulled
it.
into place from the number 2 lane, and that was a very, very good, solid strategy by the CHP. They basically had that spike strip in the fast lane of traffic, and as he maneuvered over to the number 2 and number 1, or number 3 lane of traffic here, they just simply pulled that spike strip, and that vehicle went right over probably all 4 tires.
Since civilians are in the crossfire, so that's why they shut down the freeway, usually both sides. Well, we almost are fully deflated right now. You can see this vehicle continuing, and look at that left front tire. It's just a matter of time before that rubber comes off, and then he'll be driving on the rims. And we've seen people do that. They try to drive on the rims as long as possible, and sometimes it causes these vehicles to catch fire. Just crossing over an overcross here, just short of the 15 freeway. Next major intersection here is the 15. But it's just a matter of time before those rubbers come off, those tires come off, and he's not going to have any control of vehicle, especially of this size. Michael?
Yeah, we're looking at the left there, front wheel smoking there. We are down to the rim there. That rubber is about to pop off here in just a bit. But again, we also see the back left tire as well. It is flat. Again, the CHP
And eastbound connected to the northbound side of the 15. Suspect now in custody.
Yeah, Megan, I noticed as even though we were focused in on the suspect there, I saw the officer there with the gun drawn there inside the cab of the truck again, just making sure there was no one else inside of that truck, because we have been reporting, in fact, that there was only one person inside, but you never know.
You're right, and see how they're very cautiously, they're just making sure that nobody else is in there, and they do that because a lot of, I mean, it's part of the training, but again, they don't know if there is another suspect inside, and so they have to clear that to make sure there's nobody else in there, make sure there's no victim. I mean, there could have been somebody in there who was along for the ride, just holding on, so fortunately right now, that appears to be a code for nobody is in there, and we're glad to say this pursuit came to a safe ending, and anytime we have a long pursuit that comes to a safe ending like this, that's a very good job on behalf of law enforcement.
All right, Megan Reyes up at News Chapter 4. Thank you so very much. Again, the end of a pursuit that started in the San Fernando Valley, ending here in Fontana. We, of course, will have much more coming up on the NBC4 News starting at 5 o'clock.